For more now, we go to Jon Allen, a columnist for Roll Call. Okay, John, when it might cost him politically, what might it cost him politically if Trump is continuing to take this position towards Russia?
I'm not sure that the American public's all that interested in the question of what happened in the last election in terms of the degree to which Russians helped Donald Trump win. And I say that in this way. I think most people are decided on whether that happened. The answer is yes. The Russians attempted to hack and did break into U.S. systems. Yes, they were trying to help Donald Trump. And yes, they probably had some influence over the election. Donald Trump now has lost the ability to make arguments on the first two pieces of that and is now sort of standing on the leg of they didn't have an effect. And then today you see him tweet some pro-Russian tweets. So I'm not sure that this is going to change anybody's mind.
And how is Russia reacting to this report? Are they still laughing it all off?
Yeah, I mean, they're having the last laugh right now. I mean, Vladimir Putin got what he wanted. He got Donald Trump as president of the United States. And not only does he win it in terms of getting what he wants out of the American election, he has now told the world that he can mess with any election. The United States has long been seen as the leader of the free world, having the pride of elections throughout the world. And now Vladimir Putin's got a big victory, not only in this one instance, but also in the chilling effect that it has on others.
So now they go into office. Donald Trump enters office in just a couple of weeks. What impact do you think this is going to have, this report is going to have on his relationship with Putin? Anything?
I think his relationship with Putin remains strong. He's talking about how there are a lot of problems in the world and that Russia should be seen as an ally, not an enemy. He's going to run into a problem with members of his own party in Congress who disagree with him strenuously about that, who see Vladimir Putin as a brutal autocrat, if not not a dictator. I mean, he wins elections, but somebody who behaves in a way that is detrimental not only on human rights issues, but in many areas of the world that the United States cares about. I think even those who believe the United States should have a productive relationship with Russia where the interests collide are concerned about some of the things that Russia does. And I think Donald Trump's going to have a lot of problems with his own party in Congress on that.
I want to ask you about last week. The Republicans tried to pass legislation that would have essentially gutted the Congressional Ethics Office. It was ultimately defeated. But what was that about, John?
I think it was about a little bit of arrogance at the beginning of a new Congress and a little bit of myopia. I think that you had these members of Congress who have been upset that the Office of Congressional Ethics has publicized cases against them. And they got in and they had the power to do this, and they thought, okay, we're going to change this in the rules package. And they weren't really thinking about the overall question of why Republicans did well in this past election, particularly with Donald Trump winning. He'd promised to come in and clean up Washington, and this was going to be their first act, a priority higher than repealing Obamacare, a priority higher than doing anything for jobs, a priority higher than that Mexican border wall. I think they just weren't thinking.
I want to ask you also about your thoughts on the wall. There's talk that Trump wants Congress to now pay for it. Kellyanne Conway was on CBS This Morning Friday, and she said this is something that Congress is doing on their own. Taxpayers, though, John, to pay for this wall when his entire campaign promise has been that Mexico will pay for it. What do you make of this?
I believe that his initial promise that the United States was going to build a wall between ourselves and Mexico at the expense of Mexicans was ridiculous to begin with. The fact that his allies in Congress are going forward with paying for it now sort of seems to back up that theory. He says that this is just moving forward now, and that Mexico, of course, will reimburse the United States. I think he's saying what he needs to say at any given moment, rather than making a promise that you can expect to be kept.
And what are you looking forward to? We've got lots of confirmation hearings coming up in the week ahead. What are you watching, John?
Well, I think the Rex Tillerson confirmation hearing is going to be a very interesting one for Secretary of State, the former ExxonMobil CEO. There are a lot of people who are concerned about his ties to Russia. So that'll be something that's very interesting. And then, there's sort of another issue going on just as we've been speaking here. Monica Crowley, a conservative commentator and columnist who has been tapped for the National Security Council's communications post, apparently plagiarized large sections of her book. I expect us to be hearing a lot about that. It's not a confirmation hearing because she doesn't have to be confirmed for that job, but I expect that to be an ugly fight in the coming several days about whether or not she's able to sustain herself and continue in the job that Trump has picked her for.
And of his nominees, John, who do you think is most vulnerable?
I think, Tillerson's probably the most vulnerable. I think there are Republicans that might want to send a message to Trump on Russia. But the truth is that with only needing a 50-vote threshold because of some changes that have been made in the confirmation process over the last few years, it's likely that Trump will get most, if not all, of these picks.
Okay, Jon Allen from Washington. Thanks for joining us, John.
Take care, Rena, and I hope we can do some karaoke in the car like that earlier segment sometime.
Something tells me it wouldn't quite turn out the same way, John, but you're welcome to join me anytime.
Take care.
Take care.